Hey everyone and welcome back. So doing just a very quick news update for today. Got a lot to get to as far as other videos go. Definitely have a pickups video that I actually need to finish editing, which I was hoping to have up already, but had a couple of days where I actually wasn't feeling good, had some family stuff I needed to deal with, but definitely want to kind of wrap that up real quick. Now when you do see that video, I think I do mention that it could be my last pickups video before the end of the year, but there's a very good, in fact, not a very good chance there will be one more before the year is out. I've got a couple more things in and a couple more things actually coming in. So there should be technically one more pickups video before the year ends. So keep an eye out for that, but let's get into some news updates. So first up, we have the official announcement for Ghostbusters Afterlife, the new Ghostbusters film. It is set to come out in 4K and Blu-ray on February 1st. And outside of the regular 4K release and the Blu-ray release, there's actually going to be also a bundle, which looks kind of cool. It's actually in a outer case that looks like it's one of the traps, and it actually comes with all three films, Ghostbusters 1, 2, and Afterlife. It is a little pricey, but at the same time, I gotta admit, it does look kind of neat. And that is also due out February 1st. Next up, Kino has announced their next 4K title, and that is coming March 22nd, and that is the David Cronenberg film Eastern Promises. Not all the details for it have been released yet, at least not that I could tell anyway. It's nice to see we are starting to get some David Cronenberg in 4K. I think so far we've only had one in 4K. Wasn't Crash the only 4K title so far from his? I can't remember, but I think that's the only one. So I think this is only the second film of his we're getting 4K. So hopefully, eventually down the line, maybe we'll be lucky enough to get, obviously, especially some of his earlier stuff, Scanners, Videodrome, and stuff like that. I would be super happy about that. So who knows? We'll see what happens in the new year. And then finally, a couple of very cool updates from Second Sight, the UK distributor, who last year obviously did my favorite release, which of course was the Dawn of the Dead box set. And they released two very quick updates and also sort of made the announcement for another title that is coming next year. So first up, there is an update on their upcoming Dog Soldiers 4K release. That has been one that has been a little bit problematic here and there, I think, finding some of the elements and everything, but they did release this update, at least on their Facebook page. And it says, Dog Soldiers update. With the negative scan and restoration underway, we've been held up as needed to scan and enter positive for a few seconds of FX shots. This has taken a few months of logistical issues to gain permission to access, but is now in our hands, and restoration completion will be end of January with a view to releasing 4K and Blu-ray by the end of March. Thanks for patience, everyone. So it's nice to know that they are putting in all this effort on that Dog Soldiers release. That has definitely been one that has been, had a lot of issues. I know there were issues with the Scream Factory release because they couldn't get a hold of the negative or something, so they had to do a transfer of like a release print, and it's just been like one thing after another. So but at least Second Sight has gotten a hold of the negative and is trying to make it look and sound as good as possible, and it looks like they're aiming for March-ish, so we could be looking at a nice spring release for Dog Soldiers. Next up, a very quick update on George Romero's Martin. Obviously one of the ones I am one of my most anticipated ones, I think, coming for next year, at least so far. We'll see what happens later in the year. But another update from their Facebook page. Martin update. Since the discovery of the longer lost cut of the film, we have halted production in the hope there may be some chance of gaining access for our release. We don't know if this is going to be possible, but are doing all we can, and we'll have more news in the new year. Now, when I announced that the 3-hour cut had actually been found, I know one of my hopes was that Second Sight was going to be able to hopefully include it in their upcoming release, and I hope they can. Now, what that is going to entail, I don't know. It could be a little bit more entangled than just a regular release, only because it's going to be like, what's a different cut and who owns what and who knows what else. Hopefully they can include it. Now, I think the only caveat with that is because there's a very good chance that if it's included, it would probably only be on a Blu-ray, which would most likely be Region B locked. Now, I would love a 4K scan, even though I know it would be in rough shape, even if it was an SDR, not HDR pass, mainly because I wanted it in all region. That's just me. But nonetheless, I am really happy that they are trying to make this work. So hopefully they can, in fact, include it in their upcoming release next year. And then finally, Second Sight teased this as a release that they also have coming next year. Buckle up, 4K 2022 presented by Second Sight Films and Nicholas Winding Refn. That's obviously a picture from his film Drive, which is a fantastic film if you've never seen it. Really happy that is getting a 4K release. And again, the beauty about 4K releases, of course, they are region free no matter where you live. So next year is definitely definitely shaping up to be a big 4K year. It looks like, man, all these companies are just embracing the format, which is great to see. And they are also doing, obviously, Blu-ray releases. You know, that format is not being left behind. So just a few quick updates for today. Again, keep an eye out for the pickups video. There will be a couple other things coming before the end of the year, including some, not best of, because honestly, like, I haven't seen enough to even do a best of any kind, but I'm going to do probably some of my favorite things from the past year, some of my favorite releases, and things like that. So a couple things I am working on for next week before the New Year's. So definitely let me know your thoughts on these, and as always, thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next one.